Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 444, or if you're on my program, it is episode 723. And in today's episode, I really want us to think big. Now, let me be very, very clear. In order to really dream big, you have to be fully at peace with what's going to happen when you do so. You see, let's go ahead and say, you wanted to get that promotion. If you wanted to double your business, if you wanted to double that gross income, if you wanted to double your salary, whether it be in 5 years, whether it be in 12 months, even 3 months, if you have a goal, if you have a big dream and desire when it comes to building wealth or being successful, you have to obviously dream more than that you have right now. That's a no-brainer. But the nature of doing so will create two conflicts. Now, these two conflicts are going to be very important to get clear on. So number one, the first thing that we usually do is we dream this big goal. We have this desire. So let's just say we want to take our annual income from 150,000 US dollars to say 300,000 US dollars. Let's just say that's where you are. That's where you want to be. Automatically, you will probably feel some form of resistance. Now, as you think about that, if you gauge that goal, obviously your own goal, but in this example, if you're gauging that goal between 150 to 300,000, you're going to notice something within you. And there's where we've got to be conscious of the somatic aspect. What are you thinking? What are you feeling when you think of your goal and dream? So have that goal and dream in your mind and notice if you feel some form of resistance. Now, you're going to feel resistance. Because otherwise, unless you're totally clean and clear and you're like making it happen and you know, well, last month I was at 100,000 and now this month I'm getting to 150, or a year ago, and you know it's an easy plan that everything's in place. But for most people, it's a little bit trickier than that, because that resistance comes with a feeling. And it comes to a feeling or a thought because we don't have it yet. It's beyond ourselves. Because immediately when we think of our goal, we usually think, well, how can I get there? And when will it happen? Now, you might want to write that down. That kind of thought that we have. Or how's it going to happen, Joseph? How are you going to get me to where I want to be? Or how am I going to get there by myself? And when is it going to happen? Now, more often than not, those two things, the how and the when, will give you a crazy amount of resistance, fears, worries, and doubts, that feeling in the stomach, the overwhelm, the procrastination, because you don't know. You don't know because it's beyond you. Okay, it's beyond you because if you had the steps, you'd have done it. If you had the steps, therefore you would have done it, so therefore the time would not be an issue either. So the how and the when will create the biggest amount of self-sabotage in your emotional state, your physical and also your mind, which will create that self-sabotage. Now, the reason being is because it's beyond us. It's out of our control. And anything which is out of your control, guess what? It doesn't feel good. Unless you're totally at peace and being in the moment, then absolutely you might thrive in the not knowing. But it can be very hard when we have such a deep desire because we're in a state of scarcity. We're in a state of lack. So realize that when you have a big dream or goal in any endeavor, you're going to come up with some resistance because you do not have it right now. You don't know the how and you do not know the when. Now, if that is true, you have to almost separate yourself from those two external features of the how and the when because they're out of your control. And instead, you've got to go on the inside. Now, With my system, we really forget about that. Although I actually say, look, we'll let go of the issue within 8 weeks. I know that to be true. I know the actual steps to get you there, but you won't know that. You don't know if that's possible. You will probably say to me right now, Joseph, if you could transform my limitation into my greatest superpower, that I hit my goals within 8 weeks, that will blow my mind. That will be the most amazing present to myself if that is possible. You don't know it, but I do. So the nature of not knowing keeps us in that paralyzing fear unless we hand it over to someone. But within my system, knowing that I know the how and when it will happen, because that's what we do, I focus on different things. And I'm not going to go really deep into them today, but I really go into the what, the why, and the who. You see, what you want, why you want it, and really uncovering who you really are, the source of you, will actually cause you to get the how and also the when, to the degree that it'll happen automatically. So my deep suggestion for you is to rather focus on the how and the when, to focus on what specifically you want in the positive, and also why you want it. You see, anyone who goes into my program, obviously they got to apply, we got to accept them, but if they do get accepted, we require our clients to have 100 reasons as to why they should change. Because we want to leverage that. Because if we can turn the balance of the scales into an absolute, this is why I must change, then I can actually cause that to happen beneath the surface. Like if I can get those 100 reasons, I can install that within your unconscious mind and it'll have to change. It can be a little bit tricky to do it by yourself, but getting clear on that is definitely a good start. And then what I do is I uncover the truth of who you really are, that has been waiting to break free. You see, there's that part of you beneath the surface, the part of you which is pure, which is the light, which is whole, which is peace. There must be a part of you which is that, beneath all the internal turmoil, beyond the conflict, beyond the battling and the fighting and the real tired struggle. There, I always believe there's a part of you so pure, so whole, that if we can shine a light to, you will transform and transcend who you are, and that who you are will actually then transform and transcend the reasons, the 100 reasons for me, and also then allow you to supercharge what specifically you want, that you get it on autopilot. So you can become the person you've always wanted to be, from the person that you are right now. You see, the past has led you to this perfect point. And I say perfect, just you'll be like, Joseph, this is not a perfect situation. I'm not where I want to be. I'm not happy. I feel like an imposter. I feel like something's wrong. I feel like I can't get a break. No matter how hard I try, I always seem to fail or not live up to what I really want. I get it. I understand it, because I've been there too. But I've also understood getting over that. And I've realized in those times when we feel the most depressed in not being where we want to be, where we feel the most amount of struggle, with the most amount of necessity that we have to change, that is where the solution can pop up into your reality. Solutions don't come to you when you're into that no man's land of, I'm okay. Because you're okay, there's no solution to be had. The solutions will present themselves for the right person who is willing to step up when they're in that place of something has to change. I don't know how, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know there's that part of me wanting to break free. So be at peace with the resistance which is showing up with you right now. Don't hide from it. Don't run away from it. Do not repress it. Because what we really resist will keep on persisting. Those symptoms will flare up. The self-doubt will begin to just get worse. And I do not want you to go into the repression of it, because that means we're ultimately becoming more separated from our true identity of who we are. We must face those things, welcome it with the right support, of course. I'd never highly suggest to anyone, look, go deep into negativity. That is, you need a professional to be with you most of the time. But I do really suggest the theory of not running away from the things which is screaming out at you. Those things are there. The stress, the resistance is a signal. I feel like that, look, let's just say I'll give you a real life example right now. So I just got back from a personal training session and I was doing some squats, just body weight ones, and I was really getting into it. And I got to a point where I overextended myself. And there was a feeling, a negative feeling in the knee. And I was like, that's a signal that I was just overly doing what I should not have been doing. Oh, I should be doing it, but not to that level. So my beautiful, wonderful body of what it is, because all our bodies are fantastic. They blow my mind how the body does what it does. All the little things at any given millisecond throughout your whole neurology is mind-blowing. You are a mysterious universe within the physical body in itself. But that signal was there to say I did something beyond what my body felt it was possible, and some signal came back to me as pain. Now, if I overrode that pain and carried on going, what is going to happen? Well, I'm going to damage myself. I'm going to get worse. So the more I would try to repress the pain, the more I would push through that pain and go against that signal, I'm going to damage my body. And we can change this to anything. The physical body's symptoms are there telling us something. So I'm at peace and I'm in joy when my body, even my unconscious mind, gives me a signal to pay attention to, because the signal is a lesson. The signal is a learning. But if I can go, look, what is this about? I can then learn from it, and guess what? The signal does not have to come back. So on the one hand, you need help in dealing with that. On number two, you must not resist it or battle it. Know that these things are here for a reason. Those are great teachers. And if we can learn from the teacher of the signal of your subconscious, your unconscious mind, you will make the most profound changes. So, what have we discussed so far? Number one, if you have that big goal, that big dream, that big purpose in life, but the nature of thinking about it gives you a feeling of conflict, incongruence, resistance, fear, worry, and doubt because it's beyond you right now, is because we don't know how and we don't know when. And therefore, it increases scarcity because those how and that when is beyond you. It is beyond the construct and the control of you, and that feels bad. That paralyzes us and causes us to remain stuck. So instead, we have to go within ourselves to discuss what we really need. Because if we can't change the situation, we're challenged to change ourselves. Viktor Frankl said that, who was in the concentration camps. That's one of the conclusions he came from. Now, if we have that, well, if I cannot control the how and the when, I'm challenged to change myself. And that is when we go deep into resolving the hidden core issue that we're going through. We can have the recipe before us, but we must discover what that recipe is beneath the surface. What is creating this? What is the core that once discovered will allow you to transform? Because I'm going to guess you want that big goal. If you couldn't dream it, then when you think about it, you wouldn't want it. But the fact you are dreaming it means there's something for you to be had or to receive or to achieve in your life. And you've got to choose right now, is this what I want? And one thing I always like to say, are you willing to do the things you've never done to get what you've always wanted? Ask yourself that question. Am I willing to do the things I've never done to get what I've always wanted? Because we haven't got what we've wanted because we're doing the same old things. We're doing the things and going around in circles. We might be trying different things, but we're not really doing the thing that is needed. And that is a very big wake-up call for me. Sometimes it's meant that I've got to radically do everything in a different way. I've got to go out there and seek the right advice. I've got to go and put the hours in to become a master of that trade if that is something that I really want to do. And if it means putting those hours in for the next year or 6 months or 8 weeks or the next week, is it going to yield the results that I want? Now, if you're saying, yes, I'm willing to do things that I've never done before to get what I've always wanted, I'm willing to put that time in, really be decisive, then you're going to make it. Because deep within you, there is that profound perfection, that profound beingness. Yes, we've got to master many different things. Like, I like to think we've got to master the main 5 fears of not being enough, the fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of what others think, and sometimes the fear of getting help. But once you master those, the how and the when will reveal itself, and it will cause you to no longer struggle. That causes you to no longer fight or battle. That's when we fall into our purpose. We are in purpose. We are in passion. Once you get to that place, life is never the same again. So go ahead and do that now. And if you would like help and support in making that change with us, so we can take you by the hand and just implement the change, if you feel like you're an imposter to your own successes, for where you are to where you want to be, if you feel like there's that lack within you, there's worry or doubt in achieving the big goals, and you are a professional, you are secure enough to do what has to be done, to go all in on something, when we, of course, we can support you if you're a good fit. All you have to do is go to josephclough.info/go, josephclough.info/go. And then you'd book a time to speak with us. And then you'd fill out a quick application so we get enough information to be able to really serve you on that call, to see if you're that real good fit. Now, if we can, then we'll find the route. We'll figure out the path to success in the shortest amount of time for the undeniable transformation. And we'll show you how we'll do it. And of course, if we can't, we'll hopefully point you to a different direction, because we can only serve those who can fit with our passion of our purpose. If we know we can do it, we definitely will. But you've got to make sure that you are ready to change. You've got to go all in the commitment, the decisiveness. You've got to be serious in being the person. If you're goal motivated, success driven professional, then hopefully we can serve you to the highest level and get you to where you want to be. Unleash the who you are, really develop and sink those reasons into your unconscious mind to get exactly what you want, so the how and the when just happens before you could even imagine it. So go to josephclough.info/go and you will be able to go ahead and do those 3 steps. 1, book the call. 2, fill out the application. 3, watch the pre-training videos to get the real insight. And then 4, obviously there's 4 steps already. What am I on about? Going on to the call itself, so we can really serve you and you can serve yourself, because at the end of the day, if you transform, you're going to transform everyone in your life. And I think when we do that, we transform the world that we live in. So I look forward to speaking to you soon. Many thanks and goodbye.